Hey everybody, this is Rob Lowery here with Atlantic Tractor, and out here for our next segment of Ag 101. We're out here in beautiful Delaware, and we're going to plant some corn today. After a very cold and wet April, we finally got the sun shining. We've got the ground in really good condition, so we're going to plant some corn. We've got a brand new planter here we're going to show off. We're going to talk about some of the features of this planter and things that we're going to be looking for when we're planting. Atlantic Tractor has a 50-acre test plot here that we're going to use for some training with our employees. We're going to show some technology throughout the growing season of, starting with the planting, the application of spraying some fertilizer, and in the fall when we combine, we're going to show how the yield comes off and all the yield maps that come along with the harvest end of it. So kind of exciting for the employees, and hopefully we can share some of that with you folks of how this field progresses throughout the year. So we're really excited about some of the things that are coming. So today we've got a corn planter we're going to talk about, and we're going to go through the steps of what we're looking for when we're planting corn. So I think we got a good segment here, and stay tuned. So what we got here, this is the John Deere 1775 NT ExactEmerge planter. We're going to talk about what ExactEmerge means, but we're going to walk around the planter here real quick and talk about some of the functional things of how this planter works. So this here is a 16-row planter. It's 30-inch spacing, so that means it's 16 row units, which we'll take a look at, and each row unit is 30 inches apart. So as we plant our corn, we're looking for about 6-inch spacing between the seeds, and then they're going to be 30-inch rows, which when we harvest or we spray, will run down between those rows. So it gives some room for the crop to go and also for the tractor to go through. So when we walk back through here, we have our bulk seed tanks, and we'll climb up there and I'll show you what the seed looks like in the tank and everything. But we fill this up with seed. The seed then flows through these tubes and then into our row units. So if we walk on back here, we'll look at our row unit. So the seed comes into here. This here is our seed meter. And what this does, there's a plate in here that we'll open up and I'll show you, but it'll actually spins around and it singulates each seed. And older corn planters, it would take the seed and then drop it from up here all the way down to the ground. This being ExactEmerge actually has a brush that the seed will sit in and carries it all the way to the ground. So it really improves our accuracy of planting, but it also gives us the ability to get up to right around 10 mile an hour for planting. So if the field conditions permit, we can plant 10 mile an hour. Normal corn planters, 4.5 mile an hour was max top speed. And if you got to over 4.5, your accuracy really went down. So this planter here is very accurate and also gives us the ability to go pretty fast, so we can get a lot of ground covered in a short amount of time. So we're down here at the row unit of the planter. This here is the no-till coulter. And you can see here by how shiny it is that this has been in the ground a little bit, and it goes in roughly 1.5 inches, 2 inches. What the idea of this is, it goes through the ground and creates loosens it up so our row unit can get into the ground. Behind the coulter we have our True V opener. These are 2 discs that go into the ground, and you can see they're about 2 inches deep there, and that's creating the trench for where our seed's going to fall. In between these discs is where the seed comes out. And then here is our gauge wheel. This controls the depth that the planter will go into the ground. So for different crops, say corn, you're looking for that 2-inch depth. Soybeans, you're going to plant a little bit shallower, maybe 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, depending upon your ground conditions. And then moving back here, we have our closing wheels. This here is a cast closing wheel, so this is ideal for a no-till condition. We can control how much tension's on here by moving this handle. So for different ground conditions, you would change that for either more pressure or less pressure. Each of these row units are independently hydraulically controlled. So we can control how much downforce is on each row unit with this little cylinder here. So for really hard ground conditions, this planter really has the capability to get into the soil really good. It also has, with the hydraulics, it's very quick to react. Back in 70s, 80s, all we had back then was spring down pressure. Then we moved to air, and now we're with hydraulics. So Lots of cool features here on this planter, which give us the ability to go fast and keep the accuracy up. All right, so we're up here on top of the planter right now, and this is inside the seed tanks. As you can see in there, this is all the seed, and this is treated. There's different things that they treat the seed with to keep insects and some other varmints away from it. So they fill these hoppers up with seed, and like I said, then it all flows down to the meter. So this allows you to run for long periods of time without having to stop and fill the planter up multiple times, and less fill-ups during the day makes you more productive. All right, we're out here. We got the planter running. You can see the marker arm as our little check to make sure our GPS is working well. But here we're planting with that high-speed planter, 16 rows at a time. See down here, that's our seed trench there. Seed corn's kind of hard to find once it's in the ground. With it being colored, there's a seed right there. We'll cover that back up. You can see this planter, it really gets out across the field pretty quick. When he turns around and comes back, we'll take a little bit closer look as the row unit is dropping a seed down through there. So here you can see we dug up a seed, and we've got a little tool here that shows us the depth. So it's a nice handy thing to have to make sure your planter's set properly. But you can see the seed there, and we're checking, to make sure our seed trench is we're getting enough depth to get the seed in the ground. All right, so we're out here at our field, and this planter has what we call section control, or row shutoffs, as some people call it. And what that means is that we start, as the planter comes into an area where we overlapped, which the tractor and the planter talk to one another, and we know where the planter's been with our yellow bubble on top of the tractor. So as we plant our field, we've got our headlands here. The headlands are usually planted first. And then as we start to plant back and forth, with older planters, we would have to guess as we start to come in here. And as you can see, this is no-till field. It's kind of hard to see where you've been. So you'd have a lot of overlap. And anytime you'd have corn overlap, you're wasting seed, and then it also decreases your yield. So as technology has moved forward, we have row shutoffs. So the planter, as it starts to overlap, it'll actually start to shut each individual row off. So we save seed, we save the overlap. We don't get when the corn's overlap like that, there's more pressure for it to go down. So it makes it hard to harvest. But it also keeps our yield up. So you get a lot of benefit there. There's a lot of people who have saved a lot of money and actually can pay for some of that technology just by the amount of seed that they save because of the row shutoffs. All right, we're going to watch here. We're going to walk beside, just kind of look. You can see that planter. He's going to start to pick up his speed here. He was nice enough to slow down for me to walk beside there and show how everything was working. All right, so we're in here in the tractor cab. You can see the planter here behind us. And then you can see over here in the monitor, that blue line there the blue is our coverage. Checking our population. We got our seed spacing, seed singulation there. And so we're just opening up the headland here at right around 5 miles an hour. All right, that wraps it up for our episode of Ag 101 and planting corn. Hopefully you all learned something today, maybe learned something about the John Deere ExactEmerge planter and some of the things that goes on while we're planting and what we're looking for when we're planting corn. So stay tuned. We'll have another episode coming soon. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy, and get out there and enjoy the nice spring weather we're getting ready to have. See you soon.